Hey guys, Dr. Mike Dusa, MTFU Longevity over 50. How are you today? Just checking my messages, and one of my really good charter MTFU members, Leroy, sent me a message. Hey, Dr. D, creatine, your thoughts? Creatine, yes. Supplements, yes. I'm a big believer in supplements. I will tell you that it is impossible to get everything you need just by eating whole foods, no matter how pinpoint and precise you might be in setting up your panoply of food stuffs that you consume every day and every week. Look at what they do to the soil now, the leaching, the preservatives, the bastardization of our foods, the GMOs. You don't know what the hell you're getting. I mean, I eat chicken sometimes and it tastes like rubber. I don't know what they're doing to it, for God's sake. So whatever you're lacking in foods, listen, it takes some figuring out. You don't just take a bunch of stuff and hope for the best. You know, it's like this tyrosine right here. Somebody comes up, Dr. Dusa, what does this do? It does nothing. You must do. If you remember the video game Pac-Man from many years ago, had that little Pac-Man head that would go through and eat up everything. You know, some people think if you're talking about like fat burners, people think that the pill goes in there and it almost eats the fat away. That's not how supplements work. Supplements optimize your physiologic environment. It equalizes it so you're at the proper baseline, so there's no lack, so your body can naturally work the way it has to. It's like, you know, I'm working on a testosterone optimizer now. I don't call it a testosterone booster like the industry does, and believe me, they know how to market. But I don't believe anything boosts your testosterone. If you're lacking certain elements in the body, let's say zinc, chances are your body won't produce the testosterone that it needs because it needs the zinc. So let's say we optimize that zinc and get it up to where it can be. You're giving the body a chance to produce testosterone as it should. So that's testosterone optimization. So really with supplements, you're optimizing what your body could and should be able to do. I hope you understand that, because believe me, I spend $170 a month on supplements, and that, to me that's a lot of money. It's $2 grand a year. But see, I know exactly, after many years of trial and error, what helps me, what helps me along. I don't want to say works for me, because you know I'll be breaking that rule. But you know, as far as creatine monohydrate goes, I take it every single day. I take Body Tech. You know, it's serviceable. It's good. I take fruit punch flavor. Yeah, I drink a lot of water. I use Crystal Light because I like it to taste okay. I drink 4 of these a day. One time I put the creatine in, 5 grams. 4 of these equals a gallon. I'm trying to get a gallon of water a day. You know what they say. I don't know if something magical occurs once you hit a gallon. Sometimes I only get 3 of these. You know, sometimes I drink more. But again, I get good results. I feel really good. I have good health. I go to the doctor, I get my blood panels done, and everything checks out well. So, you know, I think I'm doing everything right. Now, as far as creatine goes, is it right for you? It's the #1 purchased supplement in the world from supplement companies by people everywhere, from all walks, people who are athletes, CrossFit, bodybuilders, running, whatever you might have, football players, baseball players, everybody, and people who just, you know, folks in general who just are looking for good general health. You don't necessarily have to work out. However, to get its effects of strength and muscle building, you do have to work out. We'll talk about that in a second. You got to ask yourself, where are you at in your program? And this is very important. If you're 30 or 40% body fat, if you're really overweight, or if you're just, you know, maybe frail and not so overweight, but just really decrepit in your health, and you haven't worked out for years, you've never worked out, I don't suggest any supplements at all. I suggest, because I'm expecting that your whole food intake, your diet is terrible, you've got to clean that up. You've got to be exacting with it. You can't half-ass it either. It's got to be exacting, because why not? And once you do that, and then you check on your performance, and hopefully you're exercising, you have somebody helping you, and you have a very clearly defined goal, then you could think about supplements, you know, specifically creatine. Now, Charles Poliquin, famous strength coach, has a great theory, philosophy. He says you must earn your carbohydrates, meaning through hard work. You know, you expend enough, you leave it all out there in the gym or on the field or whatever you're doing. You know, then you could have your carbohydrates. I say the same thing with supplements. Too many times, this is what people do. They think because they're taking supplements, they can half-ass it in the gym or with their diet or both. Listen, you've got to have gut-busting, hard-ass workouts. Like I said, your eating has got to be to the T, and then supplements may help you just a bit. Now, Evan Centopani, the IFBB pro friend of mine who I've worked with, came up to me last summer, and he just kind of said, "Hey, Mike, you think you're working as hard as you can?" What do you think he was really saying? He was pretty much saying, "It doesn't look like you're working as hard as you can." And he was right. I offered myself some self-reflection, and essentially, I was probably going at 80%, which sucks. I get it up to 95% now. 100% no, that's nonsense. That's an adrenaline fight or flight surge, and most of the time you don't have that. But I keep in the 90s. I make sure I'm doing everything I can. I'm mindful of that. I remind myself of that. It's not a heartless pantomime when I go in the gym. I lock in and I think about why I'm there, and I test and challenge myself, and I try to exceed myself a little bit every single time. When I do that, then I deserve this stuff. Then this stuff is going to go into my body and replace whatever I've depleted, and it's going to get me a little bit ahead. Okay, so you see what I'm imposing upon you and myself? You must do, I must do. This stuff helps you along a little. It doesn't do anything. We're talking about a pharmacological effect, a drug-like effect. Now, drugs, prescription synthetic drugs, they do some stuff. But we're not going to go there. You've got to look at certain factors. I've got some notes here. I just don't want to forget anything. You can't get it all from Whole Foods. Like I said, you've got to have some supplementation. I suggest blood panels. Get them done at least once a year. I have them done every quarter. I get a metabolic panel done. I check to see what I'm lacking as far as any types of elements in the body, and I try to correct it. I try. It's like I said, testosterone boosting. Or not boosting, but optimization. We're looking at certain elements that can get your testosterone to where it should be. We're not actually boosting the testosterone itself. That would be a drug-like effect. That's not what we're talking about. Creatine daily. Some people, hey doc, how about meat, red meat, even tuna, vegetables? Now, vegetables only have trace elements of creatine. You'd have to eat bushels of vegetables a day to get your creatine. Meat, yes, you'd be dropping about $20 a day. You figure that over a month, $500 or $600 a month just for your meat component of your groceries. I don't know anybody who's going to spend that. And, it's kind of unwieldy. You don't have to do that. Now, when you hear about creatine, monohydrate, you hear about the loading phase. It's the first week, and some people say some of the companies will advise that you take 6 grams per serving 4 times a day for a week. That's your loading phase, and then you taper off to 5 grams per day. Now, side effects, there's nothing really deleterious to your long-term health. Short-term, headache, bloating, intestinal upset, diarrhea, some of those, all of those, severe discomfort. It's happened to me. And life's too short to live in discomfort. I would say this, start at 5 grams a day. Don't do the loading phase, because you do the loading phase, you're much more likely to have those side effects. And you'll still get the same effects. It'll take a little longer, maybe 2 to 3 weeks to start feeling the effects, because you're not doing the loading phase and you're doing less to begin with. And that's what I do, and I don't have a problem with that. But I take it every single day, even when I'm not working out, because the body thrives on regularity. I don't want to take it away. And one thing about creatine, you'll lose its effects, which we'll talk about in a second, once you stop taking it. So it's kind of a sad thing, but again, why would you do anything that you're not prepared to do for the rest of your life? There's no integrity there, right? So again, meat, tuna. Listen, creatine's produced naturally in the body. It's not a steroid. It's not going to make you look like a bodybuilder unless you're training for that. It's not an automatic thing. It's not just for bodybuilders. It's made up of 2 amino acids. It's produced naturally in the body, in the liver and the kidneys. The liver and the kidneys produce creatine naturally in the body and shuttle that creatine to the muscles and some of it to the brain as well. So those are the storage sites, the muscles in the brain. And again, what we're doing is we're supplementing that because we want to have a supra-physiologic effect. Okay, we want to, the literature states that what creatine does is it volumizes a cell, increases the size of the muscle cell just a little bit so you can do more work. It also fosters better ATP activity, which is energy. That's adenosine triphosphate. And with more energy, you can do more work and build more muscle. And let me tell you, I've got to say, when I take the creatine, it takes a little bit, but I feel more fullness, I feel a better pump, I feel stronger. And I can directly relate it to that because occasionally I'll stop and then I'll start and I'll notice that difference. When I change a variable in my program, I only change one at a time, because when you change one at a time, you'll know if it's affecting you or not, if you're getting effect from it. And that, I would imagine that makes total sense. And again, like I said, you've got to work really, really hard. Again, the irony is people will take a supplement and they kind of taper off with their work. That's when you have to really push even harder. You have to get it in there and make it do its job. You've got to make it optimize your physiology. You notice I don't say make it work, because you're doing the work. Let's see what else we got here. For the most part, sarcopenia. Something I talk about a lot, and I'm very interested in this because when you get older, sarcopenia is the attrition or loss of muscle from the body. This occurs at 35. We don't know why. We know why more when people get older, but this is ruinous for many reasons. I put up a leg training video today, cable squats that I'm doing. If you watch me do the cable squats in my shorts, my legs look rather stickly. The next day, I've got a picture right there wearing spandex. You can see my thighs a little better. My thighs look pretty damn big, in my opinion, and that's at the age of 54. Now, if I were to compare my legs to when I was 22, 30 years ago, there's no way, despite everything I do. I mean, I'm really tip-top in everything I do to try to stay young and vital and strong and feeling good. But listen, ultimately, you know, time is going to win. And that's sarcopenia. And again, for older people, much older than me, convalescent home level people, you lose muscle. The muscle's attached to the bone. It gives the bone no reason to maintain its solidity. And you get osteoporosis, and you get brittle bone disorder, and then the old lady falls and breaks her hip, and she's above the age of 80, and within 2 years, 50% of those ladies die. And that's a known statistic. So again, it's very, very important to at least keep your muscles as strong as your skeletal system is. And you know, creatine can help do that. Okay. If you're looking at another interesting factor here, above the age of between the ages of 50 and 60. Each year you lose 1.5% of your strength. After the age of 60, you're losing 3% of your strength. So again, you know, creatine will help you maintain good muscularity, which equals good strength, which equals good overall strength. We also talked about testosterone. After the age of 30, you're losing 1% production of that per year. So again, this all ties in. You've got to fight that. You've got to optimize your systems within your body. And if you don't, listen, it's going to be a sad, sorry lot and course, and you're gonna be that stereotypical old, broken, bent over person, and there's no reason to be that. I'm never going to be that. In any event, I think that this supplement is probably the #1 supplement. Again, do your due diligence, do your research. Don't spend a lot of money. Make sure your food is up to shore first. And then start the creatine. You know, 5 grams a day, every single day. I like it flavored. I sip it. This container takes me a couple of hours. Usually, it's tail end of my workout. And again, I feel great on it. Please post your questions below. I'll try to address them. You might know some things I don't know. I mean, but in any event, Dr. Mike Dusa, MTFU longevity over 50. May we all continue to do our level best to improve the lot of mankind. You have a great day.